Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to the October 6, 2025 regular Board of Education meeting. It is 6 p.m. on the dot. Can we all stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ms. Reyes, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Asia, if you would call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. President Barbara Marino.
Here.
Vice President Diana Reyes.
Here.
Secretary Anthony Kane with the C.
Yo.
Mr. Anthony Kane with the K.
Here.
Ms. Annie Parker.
Here.
Ms. Joan Beam.
Here.
Ms. Amy Kozlowski.
Here.
Mr. Jose Rivera.
Here.
And Ms. Tina Santana.
Right here.
All righty. Thank you, ma'am. Moment of meditation. I don't know if anyone has any intentions they'd like to add.
You did one, Amy.
Hasmi Kavorkian Canada.
Ah, yes. Thank you. Take a moment, please. Thank you. All right, public participation. We've got two folks on our list, and I need to, hold on 1 second. We've got, I've got Francina Sloan. Yep, you can come right up to the podium and address the board. You've got 3 minutes, so I'm gonna put on the timer on my handy dandy phone here. So
Okay.
when it goes off,
Hi, Barbara.
yeah,
Is it,
go right ahead.
okay, so I'm not quite sure what this meeting was about. I thought it was gonna be about the transportation issue as well in this district, because it is my understanding that according to the state, children need to live at least 2 miles away from the school to qualify for a bus. But any of you that live 2 miles away from work wouldn't get up and walk to work every morning, and I don't know why we're requiring that of our children. My granddaughter lives 1.9 miles. She lives 1/10 of a mile away from the high school. It takes almost an hour. They have to be to school at 7:30 in the morning, which means that she has to leave at 6:30. It's dark, it's about to be winter, it's about to be cold, it'll be rain, it'll be whatever. And then she's expected to get to school after doing that, walking for the better part of an hour, and be ready to learn. She's walked through rain, she's walked in the cold, and on top of that, it's like I said, it's gonna be dark. She's not originally from here, she's from Brooklyn, New York, so she's not even really familiar with New Britain like that, number one. Number two, she's a little 13-year-old. We know we have a child sex trafficking problem. Who wants their 13-year-old child walking alone to school in the morning at 6:30? Because they look for patterns, and if they see her every morning, somebody, it can be relayed. This is just a hypothetical drama, but it shouldn't have to be that. It should just be about, why does she have to walk almost 2 miles to school and then be ready to learn? None of us. If you would live 15 minutes away from school or from your job, and it was pouring raining, and you had the option to get in your car, you would get in your car. Why are we requiring our children to do that? I heard it was a budgetary thing. Why is the onus of a short budget fall to the children? She can't, there's no one to take her. My daughter will get up in a minute and tell you she's been spending $30 on the hard mornings for Uber. Some mornings it's $5, some mornings it's $30, and she still gets there late because it's an Uber. I'm not understanding. I talked to the guy last week from First Student, and I asked him, if the bus passes by, are you opposed to it stopping and picking her up, because buses pass by? I'm just, it's beyond my comprehension why we would require children to walk almost 2 miles when not anybody in this room walks 2 miles to work. It's the duty of us to make sure our children get an education. what kind of education is she gonna get? Is the first thing in the morning, she has to go into the bitter cold, and then when she gets there, her teacher feels like she has an attitude. I would have an attitude. I have an attitude when I gotta go across the street for 15 minutes, and I had put my pajamas on. So I'm gonna take my pajamas off and go, I have an attitude. Why? So it makes no sense. Somebody needs to figure it out before, winter is coming. Anybody watch White Walkers will be out. Is my 3 minutes up?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you. So I've got,
Sorry, that was my mom.
okay.
She basically said everything I was about to say, but yes, I am the parent that is spending about $30, maybe 3 times a week for my daughter to get to school, which is absolutely crazy because that is not reimbursed. Yes, she's getting to school late majority of the time. I have to write a note every single morning to excuse tardiness because we're waiting for an Uber. This is not like a super busy area. Ubers sometimes take 10, 15 minutes before they get to me for her to get to school. She got to be to school at 7:30. She's not getting to school till 7:45, 8 o'clock. That's taken away from half the class time, half of education, half of her learning, and it's starting to trickle down like slowly, but to her grades. Because yes, she is aggravated in the morning because I'm aggravated because I'm like, hurry up, let's go. She don't want to hear that. I don't want to do that every morning. The 2 miles and the 1.9, her walking an hour to school is a little bit ridiculous. They're saying, let her walk with a group of friends. Her group of friends don't live near here. So she is going to be walking by herself. Yeah, she might see someone walking that is going in that same direction. She doesn't know them. She's not going to technically they're a stranger to her. It's a little bit of an inconvenience for the parents and definitely for the kids. I don't know what happened with the budget or but like my mom said, for it to kind of the kids be affected by it it's not okay. So I don't know what we're doing, but we do need to figure something out. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, those were the only 2 individuals on the list. Is there anyone else that wishes to comment or speak to the board? Going once?
Can I speak again?
No.
Sorry.
No. Other personality, you got something to say?
Okay, and a 3rd time. All right, thank you. Then public participation is over. Moving on to our agenda, sir, superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. First, I'd like to welcome our 2 newest members of the board, our 2 students. We'll have them introduce themselves in a moment when it's their turn to speak, but thank you for being here. Thank you for volunteering your time. As always, we like to begin with our district dispatch, which the board members have in front of you. Of course, I'm biased. I think it's always excellent, but I think this is actually one of our best editions yet. Thank you to Ms. Langer and the whole team at Communications. Just to give you some of the highlights here, the cover, the first page, and the big article inside. Really nice result for our marching band at the high school, winning first place at the Royal Blues Band show in Rocky Hill. Wonderful showing by them. Page 1 is the superintendent's message of building the beacon. Just letting parents know that we continue to roll out that communication platform that we're very excited about. It's got a lot of letters, 7 letters, CSD, NBPM. We continue to roll that out. Training and more information sharing is yet to come. Then following up on pages 2 and 3, that really nice article about the marching band's triumph. Want to just point out the credit at the bottom of the right-hand page. These wonderful pictures are from a student. Student Akira Gunawan submitted these photos. Really great job of really great victory by our marching band. Next, we have the update that you'll be hearing more from Ms. Velasquez in a little bit. The board's curriculum committee has had a presentation about the standards-based report cards. We're featuring it here as we continue to do lots of communication there. I did want to also report that I think I've mentioned this in a board update in my Friday email. Ms. Velasquez, other members of the team will be holding 3 separate community forums where the team can come together with parents about not just the report card, but also how to support students' achievement and how the students, parents, and staff can better partner with student success. I'm sure Ms. Velasquez will feature it, but those are coming up on October 22nd, November 5th, and November 19th. The October 22nd edition is at Osgood Park at the building there. November 5th will be at OIC, and November 19th will be at the Boys and Girls Club. So really thankful to Ms. Velasquez and her team for that outreach. More explanation follows. And then a really nice article about one of our newest school secretary. Janae Willis is featured on pages 8 and 9. And I will say I was at Gaffney School for 2 days last week, or during 2 days last week, and witnessed for myself just how well Janae knows the kids, knows the parents, and knows the staff there. So there was a situation that we needed the assistance, we needed all hands on deck, and Janae was a big part of helping that situation go as well as possible. We always like to feature our Superintendent's Challenge coins with Cassandra, Valerie, and Tara being recognized for various reasons. All three of those ladies really contributing meaningfully to the school district. Then the typical kind of wrap up of some of our better social media posts from the past month or so. I do want to wrap up just by saying one more thank you to the staff and the parents, most especially, and of course the kids who've been so patient with our opening few weeks with our transportation issues. They continue to get marginally better day by day. Right? No lightning bolts, no voice from the heavens saying that everything will now be better, but it does continue to get better little by little. With lots of other information to come from Ms. Velasquez in a moment, that would be my update for tonight.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, committee reports. We did have committee meetings, so I'll start, Ms. Reyes, with policy.
Sure. So we had a number of items that we looked at. There were a few that were tabled for some additional research. There's 3 items on the regular agenda and 2 on consent that we'll be looking at tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Kane on finance?
We had a meeting.
Yeah, we had a meeting.
In addition to quite a few items on the agenda tonight were various purchases and donations. The superintendent referred to the various issues that we've had with our transportation vendor. So at my request, I asked the superintendent to invite a representative from First Student to come and address the board so that we could hear from their side. Because we've all received phone calls from constituents, parents, and media about what's going on with the bus transportation. So we asked them to come to hear their side. They gave their little presentation, and we addressed our concerns. And I spoke my mind. We all pretty much gave our opinion. I think it was really the Mel settled that they have a lot of work to do. I know that Dr. Gasper has been addressing it with them. I know he's taken recourse with them. They are working very hard, and it sounds like what he said that changes have been made, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ms. Parker, for personnel?
We had a short meeting.
In comparison to Mr. Kane's meeting, yes.
And we had a couple of MOUs and a couple of new positions and 1 table item. And the MOUs and the new positions are on the consent agenda for tonight. That was it.
Thank you. And Mr. Kane for curriculum?
We had another brief meeting for curriculum. We just got an update on flex rooms for special education based on a state grant that we received. And there are 9, I believe, flex rooms across the six flex rooms across the district currently. And that presentation can be viewed online. It wasn't part of our meeting this last month, but the standards-based report cards came back from an early meeting last spring.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Board reports. Yes, sir.
I forgot to mention in my committee report, we had a great presentation from Jeff Prokop about the new, and you mentioned in your report, the CSD
NBN, DM.
Yeah. The app. And after the meeting, Jeff showed me, and it's a great system. One of the frustrations I've had as a board liaison is trying to track down what's going on at my schools. Talking to the principals, they'll say, go to Facebook, or they'll email me. And he showed me I could zero in on a school. Well, one of my schools is New Britain High. And what's been frustrating is I get calls from parents, they want to know what's going on. They don't get notified. They don't, and one of the things that really frustrated them last week was that they're finding out the day before there were events going on last Thursday night, I think it was. There was a financial aid night. There was parent-teacher conferences. My own school was playing a volleyball game against New Britain High. Everybody found out about this one night. They had one night to rearrange parent schedules, who's gonna go where, parking. It was crazy, and I went to go visit to watch my students play, and I had parents scrambling, where do I go for this? Nobody knew. So I pulled out the app, and of course, none of those events were on the app. The only communication was some social media. And some parents I asked, how did you find out of it? Oh, my child told me. Or I got very little communication, so it was very frustrating. But here we are talking about all these communication devices and ways, and we still have to do better. So, and the parents are, the parking lot was packed. There's all these events going on at the high school, and we want to talk about, we want to get parents engaged. And I think we need to make it a goal of this administration to get more parents engaged. If we use the tools that we have, how could we get, if we use these tools this year, we could have got more parents engaged that night. Really, give maybe a week to 2 weeks notice in some cases, some of these parents. Not one day.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
So, I have a question before I go to my commentary. So, where are the dates you read out?
Ms. Velasquez, have those already been communicated, or will they be
Oh, you read them
communicated
out when you
soon?
were reading this.
Ryan later here? I'm sorry, the dates for the community forums?
Yep.
That's what you said?
Yeah,
I can pull them up.
No, I have
we
them.
know them. I
Have
just-
they already been communicated, or will they be soon?
The date was changed on Friday, and the communication materials have been updated, so they should be going out this week. We
Okay.
changed the date to not interfere with the Hispanic Heritage Month at the high school.
Thank you.
So there-
Paper you have.
Do you want my sticky note?
I just want you to read the sticky note.
Sure. I said them twice, I'll say them one more time.
Yes.
I can send them.
No.
They got,
They'll get them when we communicate soon. October 22nd at Osgood Park, November 5th at OIC, November 19th at Boys and Girls. And all of those begin at 5:30 p.m., I believe, correct, Ms. Velasquez?
Yes.
do I have to bring my own coffee? Second. Then, heads up to all parents, this is trunk or treat season, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready with your costumes, whatever you need to do, it is trunk or treat season. So connect with an elementary school, make sure that you're giving out or passing around. I've never said no to somebody coming around a second time, don't look for me, just saying, I've never said no if you found me giving out candy. To giving, larger size to parents, because I'm sorry, we do need it. The other thing was, last and final, thank you for every community event that's been happening over the weekend, stuff going on at the library, which everybody should be paying attention to, because that's important too, which we really have been able to do, some exciting stuff for anybody that's enrolled in catechism at St. Mary's, proud of you. Last and final, I am one of those parents that did not get a heads up on parent-teacher conferences until the afternoon, which drove me absolutely nuts, because I have 4 kids in the district, 3 of them, 1 of them in climb and 2 of them in pathways. It is in my IEP that we have regular communication, so I make sure, in my child's IEP rather, so we communicate. But that was not mentioned in the more recent Tuesday update, because it was assumed that there had been another communique. The other communication that had come out was an email, and I made sure I took a look at it. I even wrote back. We had conversation. It was great. There was nothing written in there about parent-teacher conferences. And for anybody that knows, when you are a parent in the district, you owe it to your district to be involved. That was tough. Running late, I was able to catch up with Michelle Abraham, who was my coach at New Britain High School in volleyball. Thank God for that. And I was able to catch up with both of the teachers in the Pathways program, which took me a little bit out of the way from everything else that I wanted to do, which was celebrate our parents being there, and there weren't that many parents. It was mostly students. We're trying, but we got to get better at that because I want the parents there, not just the students, but I did run into a couple parents that I was, and staff that I was able to catch up with, which was really good.
Like I said, I saw parents I saw running in the parking lot were running, and I asked them when they find out, and most general feeling was
I was showing
that
everybody
day
text.
or the day before.
I was showing the text. Anybody know? It's 11:38 on this thing. And then if I can, I just want to say that it was important for me to have that face-to-face time. I encourage the students and the parents to make sure that they're having that time apart from classroom time to actually just speak to your teachers. They're there, they're human, they want to be able to talk to you. It was great having a conversation with the Pathways team. That was it. I can communicate on the email whenever I get it for the other things.
Hi, Amy. I attended the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education webinar on new board members as the newest board member. And I learned a few important things in terms of expectation setting. The first is that as sole individuals, we cannot do a lot, right? Parents will approach us one by one to talk about problems. It is not our job to solve it there, but to help people understand how to communicate problems to the higher ups, and also to work as a board, as an entire board. We are powerful together. So you probably knew that, obviously, that's what you do. But the other thing is that it's not just parents and community, but our legislators. And we were reminded that it is everybody's right by the state constitution to have high quality public education. And so by that, I felt like we were given license to work with our state legislators. I've been asking for money for the Board of Education for 17 years and feeling a little shy about it. I'm not going to be shy.
No. You go, girl.
We
Sorry.
work with our elected leaders also. So that's something that's going to be on my radar for the next school year.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
I would like to say, first of all, congratulations to the freshman team. My son is the starting center, so they had an amazing game in Enfield. Yes, they're doing good. I went to that game. There was a couple of parents that were a little, rough, but they didn't get out of the game. But also, I'm happy about the events. I did get a few complaints about the parent night at the high school, but like Amy pointed out, directed them to write to Dr. Gasper and any teacher they had to communicate that to. But yeah, definitely it was a little troublesome. Myself, we had to split because there was a few events and I had to be at one. But I am always telling Dr. Gasper that even with these shortfalls or shortcomings, the staff always picks up the pace, and I'm hopeful that they'll get on point with that as well, I know things happen is early on, the bus situation, let's blame it on that as well. It threw us off, right? But I'm expecting it to get better, Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jose kind of reminded me of another one. This one came from not the Britain High School, but my own students at Weaver. They were, we were talking about Thursday, they were telling me about how pleased they were celebrating the game. One of my students came up and said how excited they were to hear that the New Britain High volleyball coach is going to be inducted into the Volleyball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Really?
And so I looked it up and verified that, and I was like, wow, the New Britain High Volleyball Hall of Fame, and Tina told me about her record. And I'm proud to hear that, and I was like, we should bring her to a board meeting, congratulate her.
Or you can go visit her at Brookside.
Well, also,
Definitely,
Mr.
she's
Richardson
amazing.
was also
It's on.
named
Yeah.
recently, honored
Yeah.
recently
Mr.
as well.
Richardson did
Yeah.
receive a very nice honor.
Yes.
No?
Yes, sir.
I do want to point out, not to, I don't know if you were going to mention it, but in case she doesn't, Sophia is a member of the marching band. She's in Haynes, so she's part of that win a week ago now, Saturday. And then they followed it up with a great performance in Enfield. And after there was some booing from the Enfield sideline, our team proceeded to outscore Enfield, I think,
54 to
32 to nothing in the second quarter. So
Yeah.
we got some, a little revenge afterwards. Yeah. The football team backed up the band, so,
Yeah.
no, so both the football team and marching band are doing phenomenally, so congrats to that. And just on the topic of the high school, there was a large turnout, as several of the members have mentioned, on the night of conferences, which included conferences, FAFSA night, and the volleyball game. I didn't know about conferences or receive any notification until that morning, about 7:30, I think the email and phone call came through. So, and I know, in the past, we've gotten notifications for open house. I guess there wasn't an open house this year, but just looking through my phone and my emails, I think the last time I had received communication from the high school in regards to any scheduling or anything was August, the end of August. So if we could just maybe have a little more communication on a regular basis, form of newsletters, or maybe a week ahead or something, just to make plans. I know we all try to involve ourselves as much as possible, but a lot of people are spread thin. So.
All right, the only thing I've got is big game against Southington Friday.
Mm.
Hello. Alumni night. Hello. Be there. Hello.
Oh,
Where
we have to be there.
Classes.
Yeah. It's our
Oh, it's
30th.
it's your
It's our
reunion.
It's our 30th, so we have to be.
Well, then we have to go.
Yeah, I know.
Reunion.
You gotta go support us. We've come back. Or like us, Diane and I have not left.
All right, so now we have student reports. Welcome. And so just anything you guys want to share with us? And it's first about introduce yourselves and.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. My name is Sophia. I'm a senior at New Bern High School.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm a senior at New Britain High. And I also want to talk about the communication, because throughout my years at New Britain High, nothing's communicated to the students, nothing's communicated to the parents, and honestly, sometimes it's not even communicated to the teachers, so I think we definitely do need to reach out to admin and figure out what's going on, and trying to see if we can get more of a schedule, like, okay, this is coming up. Let's reach out to teachers, parents, everybody. Because it's not just, like, yes, parent-teacher night, that was also on the teachers, but there's other things that are not being communicated to teachers that should be communicated. And that's just part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to add to that. I know you guys have mentioned it already, but that parent night, I think there could have been a lot more communication to parents. I think parent inclusion is really important. In order to have success within students, parents should be involved, whether it's good or bad. I think that if a student is doing well, they should receive credit for that, because that goes a long way and that keeps us, students motivated to continue doing well. But also, if a student isn't doing as well and, they're kind of having a hard time in school, I think, letting the parents know what's happening with their student could help them a lot more than maybe possibly staff. So I feel like there should be a much broader sense of communication with that. And I think, I know an email was sent out to parents because my parents did know about it, but I think that, parents are busy people and not always can check their emails. So I think sending that out maybe through social medias or other active platforms in which parents can probably see it more often would be a lot more helpful and would probably benefit to the student's success.
Okay, thanks. Anything going on at the school that you ladies would like us to know about?
Besides Friday that you're gonna see.
So I heard from a couple people about a new policy, and this is through the grapevine, so I'm not sure about all the things being correct, but I heard that there was a new policy that if you were to fail, let's say a core class in one of your semesters, you would have to restart the whole year, or you would still be considered 9th grade, 10th grade, whatever you failed in that semester, and you wouldn't just be able to make it up next year. And I just wanted to express
Can
how
I
I
ask you
feel.
to say that again, please? Because I
Sorry.
don't want something to go on the public record if it's not.
Yeah, I just heard it through the grapevine that
'Cause
they're,
as you described it, it does not sound accurate. So what I'd love to do is meet with you,
yeah,
with you both. I'll come to the high school,
okay.
right? And we'll make sure that we've got the
Because that's
accurate.
just what I heard from a couple people, so I
Right.
don't, I don't know if it's
And we want to
true.
be really careful about when we're
Yeah.
at a public board meeting that we only say what we know is
Okay.
true. If it's true, then we'll talk about it.
Okay, so we'll talk about that later, and then I also, like, this might be high school specific, but we have a bathroom issue. And I speak for me personally, I am unable to use the bathroom sometimes. Because even with the monitors outside of the bathroom, kids are still skipping in the bathroom and they're not being checked. And we're not handling it appropriately, and it's affecting a lot of the students that actually want to go to the bathroom and learn. Like, I was in the bathroom the other day for like waiting in line for 30 minutes. And I don't think that's okay for our health and for our learning. That's it.
Interesting. Sounds like you have a couple things to tell.
Yeah, I would probably say the same thing too. I feel like bathroom of all things shouldn't necessarily be something that should be taken away from student education. I think that waiting in line at least 30 minutes for the bathroom, given our class periods are definitely elongated. I'm grateful that, they're 90 minutes, but that is a huge chunk of learning that you're missing out on just to use the bathroom. And while I do appreciate the monitoring, because of course it's there for safety precautions and to make sure and ensure that all students can use the bathrooms appropriately, at the end of the day, I think it's not really as effective, and I think the cons heavily outweigh the pros of having monitors at our school.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on to the next, we've got a couple executive sessions here, so I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session with
So moved.
Attorney Eric Bartlett, Dr. Gasper, Dr. Sanders.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are in executive session. We're back from executive session, and I will entertain a motion to go back into executive session to discuss. Okay, and include Dr. Sanders and Dr. Gasper and Attorney Ritter.
And also Mary Ellen.
And Mary Ellen, sorry. I didn't see.
Is Mary Ellen not with us?
Is Mary Ellen here? Oh, there she is behind the podium. Thank you.
There she
And
is.
Mary Ellen
Always here.
Manning. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're in executive session again. All right, we are back from executive session.
I've got 150 kids every day.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve
So moved.
collective bargaining. Please, guys.
Second.
Really?
Yes, okay.
A motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement between CSD&B and the New Britain Federation of Para-Educators Local 2407. Thank you very much for a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Woo! That's it.
Yay.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, so coming up next, sir, we have a presentation, K through 5 standards-based report cards update.
Yes, we have Ms. Velasquez with us tonight, and a lot of documents and communications that have been shared and will continue to be shared. As Mr. Kane said earlier, this was an update that went to the curriculum committee, I believe 2 meetings ago perhaps. And because this is something that impacts every child, every teacher, every family in kindergarten through 5, we really are treating it as quite a big deal. So Ms. Velasquez is here tonight just to give us a further update on how it's going and the ways in which this is being communicated and shared with families.
So we have been hard at work. I know that we've been here several times to talk about the report cards, but we wanted to give you an update because there was a flurry of activity at the beginning of the year to get the word out. And so what is going around there are a 2-pager that we're trying to get to as many places as possible. You'll see that it's in 3 languages. We have also put out a video that you might have seen featuring moi, and putting out in social media. We have the communications office has been amazing putting things out for us. these posters are in 3 different languages, and they were all over the schools right before open house, so that parents, when they go to the schools, they could see that. And then we, academic team. I've got to say, Chrissy Bordelot, Lily and Amy and Dr. Mario Molina, all of that team has now taken up the charge to make sure that it's a year-long conversation. And this is important to us because we believe that making sure the kids have access to rigorous instruction that's standards-based is so important. So the report card, changing the report card, just is one other lever to use to make sure that that's happening. But, you know, just making it so, just changing the report cards isn't the end of it, right? You know, I think Christy and Lily Stewart in particular was talking to me about, you know, this is really a year-long thing, right? Next week, they're going to take advantage of that half-day PD to help teachers really talk about what do the words mean and how do we collect evidence to make sure that when the parent gets this report card, I believe it's early December, that it is actually going to do what we want it to do, which is communicate exactly what the kids are doing, where they're doing well, and really highlight here are the places we need to partner to really help them out. So we think it's a big effort. It's going to take all year, but really well worth it. What else can I say? So open house, videos, posters.
The community forums?
Yes, so the 3 community forums aren't going, so the community forums, we wanted to be a broader issue about how to support your child in school, not just about the report card, but of course at the one that I believe is the Boys and Girls Club is going to be highlighting the report card especially. So more to come on that as we roll those things out. Do you guys have any questions for us? Go ahead, sir.
Tina's always teasing me about, I'm always saying Hartford's better or Hartford's good. We recently switched over to a standard-based as well. And their plan is so complex that myself as a doctor in training, I don't even understand it. Your plan, from what I've seen so far, is so simple to understand. I am amazed how easy it is to understand. It's looking it over. Yeah, it's 4 simple steps. It tells exactly what it is, clear. The only question I would have is I would love more information of how teachers would arrive at what is a 3, what is a 4, from the teacher's end of it. That's the only question I would have. If you give me that information, I'd love to see it, but it's very easy to understand. It's so much better than the complex. I think Hartford's, we have like 6 or 7 different state levels and different, you know, we actually have 2 different versions of F, and yours is so much easier. It really does show what a standard is. Are they doing it or are they not? So
well, I will tell you, this is a lot on the communication folks, right? We have some non-educators that we had to explain what we did, and then they had to create these documents, and they did a fabulous job of making it as simple as possible. I know we satisfied Dr. Gasper's keep it simple, right? But the truth is that behind the scenes, right, it is going to be more complicated for the teachers, and we're offering that support. And that's stuff that is going to make it go well if we do it. Each teacher feels supported, and that's the PD that we're going to be doing all year.
So Ms. Velasquez, perhaps on the teacher side, to Mr. Keene's question, from the teacher side, what is a 1, what is a 2, a 3, and a 4?
Yeah, so the language that you have there will be applied across the standards. Next time we do an update, we're going to bring you what the report cards look like, so you can see actually the task of putting these 1, 2, 3, 4 on the standards report card, right? And so for each each sentence, which again, we tried to make it so that it wasn't all teacher jargon, that it was comprehensible by parents, they will be putting these 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Now what they have to decide, and they're going into PD in, Wednesday, it's Wednesday. So on Wednesday, what they will be doing is learning about how to sit together. So let's say I'm on a team and I teach 3rd grade and I got 2 other people, right? We're gonna sit down and decide what are the pieces of evidence that we're gonna collect in order to grade that standard, okay? So all that work is still happening right now. I think those are great conversations, right? It makes for more collaboration amongst team members, so that when they sit down in front of parents, they will have evidence, right? Hopefully what will happen is also, let's say it's the reading standard. I can take out a book and show parent, this is where they were at the beginning of the year, this is where they are now, right? And look, they got a 2 because they're making really good progress. Yeah, does that answer your question?
I remember when Dr. Cooper years ago tried to switch over something similar, and sitting in a parent-teacher conference with my son's second grade teacher, and my son was getting 90s and 95s on every single assessment. But when he got his report card, he was a C, which with this equivalent here would be a 2.
Right. So
because the teacher said, well, he's average, because that's what he's averaging out.
Yeah.
All the kids in our class are averaging that.
So I think that's a really important point, if I may.
Go ahead.
That a C does not convert to a 2.
Yes, exactly.
Right? A 2 means, so there's, and sometimes I'm guilty of talking in too many analogies, but there's a slope.
Yeah.
There's a slope, and that's what our slogan is this year, right? Grade level thinking 180 days a year. We know that if a kid is going to be, if the child arrives in 3rd grade on grade level, in order to get them to leave 3rd grade still on grade level, they need to do grade level thinking every single day of the year. And for me, that's what a 2 is. It means that Tony, the student, is showing progress that we think is going to end up with him being proficient by the end of the year on this particular standard. So it's going to be a hard habit for everybody to break, teachers, families, and kids to break, to say, oh, a 2, that's like a C, right? No, a 2 means you are progressing, that we think you're on the right slope.
And that's what we try to explain to the teacher, yeah. The teacher didn't understand the new grading system.
So we're doing a ton of work. We know there will be mix-ups. We know there'll be a small number of teachers who, don't quite have it yet. We know that nothing this complex goes perfectly the first time you implement it. But as Ms. Velasquez said, I'm thankful to her and the team that she mentioned earlier for what they're putting into this. And then that work translates into every school principal and assistant principal at the K-5 level, and the teachers and the leaders and the coaches. So this is why we've brought this back to you so many times, and it'll come back again in the future, because it's not, quote, just a report card. It's really about better communicating to kids and parents, but also, as Ms. Velasquez said, it's about communicating to every single teacher, or hopefully reminding every single teacher what really is important. And it's not for every standard that are in the standards matrix. It's their colleagues, about 30 of their colleagues, if I remember correctly.
Yes, the committee was 30.
Right. About 30 of their colleagues got together and said, we think these are the most critical standards for grade 3, for grade 4, etc. So it's a big deal. We know it's not going to be perfect. It's easy for your superintendent to predict that you're going to get some phone calls from your constituents saying, what the heck is this? Yeah. And some people will even say, I never even heard of this, even no matter how many times we send it out or put it on social media. But we will continue pushing. We will have these forums. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a big step forward for how we do business on behalf of the children of the city. But it's going to be a work in progress. And after our first year of implementing it, we may find some standards need to come and some standards need to go.
I just had one question, because I got asked before about other notifications in Polish. So I don't know if there's a huge need or not, but I was asked about something else not that long ago, Ryan, and I know I sent it to you about creating that in Polish. It wasn't this, but it was some other notification.
We don't have the staff like we do for Arabic or for Spanish, but Mr. Prokop or Ms. Langer can talk about the new communication tools and their ability to translate.
Right. So our new tools, when we put it into the message creator, translates into every one of our district's languages that parents have placed preferred on their PowerSchool page. And we've been working with administrators on an ongoing basis to make sure they remember, don't attach PDFs to your email because they won't translate. Put all the information in the update. So while our documents that are attached as extra resources are in the languages that we have staff that can make the documents in, those other families will still get the information that they need to know in their native language. It's just not in as nice of a package always.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we don't exclude it, because this is going to be something critical for any of those parents to understand and comprehend.
I think when I asked before about languages, it sounded like there were more Ukrainian right now than Polish.
And the community forum materials actually have been put into Ukrainian that are rolling out. We work with a staff member who's not in the communications office who speaks Ukrainian to support that, to support those families with a calling number.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You wanted to post an extras here. I don't know where you put them.
Alrighty.
Good job.
Moving on to new business. Can I have a motion to approve minutes from regular board meeting of September 2nd?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion, changes, anything? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Report on personnel transactions and extracurricular appointments.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, enrollment report.
Yes, as usual, you have that before you, and you can see we really don't vary much these days. We're kind of up and down, right around flat, around 96 to 9,800 students. The high school has ticked just below 2,500, but not by much.
Okay. I don't believe there's anything to approve there, that's
That's
for info.
informational.
Okay, item D, motion to review and approve new board policy 5131-911, school climate.
Second.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
This came before the policy committee, and there was a, I would say just a formatting error. Some things were included and not exactly in the right order. I want to say thank you to Ms. Soler and also Mr. Richardson, with whom I met. I believe this is now ready for board adoption.
Yes. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, approved. Motion to review and approve bylaws of Board of Education of the Consolidated School District. This is an updated, the bylaws were updated to include and expand on the role of board members as school liaisons.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I don't have it in front of me, but it was on page 102 of our packet. It was section 3 vacancy and then a B, and it seemed like there was a sentence missing, so.
Cheek? I don't have the.
I can copy and paste it after the meeting. It just seemed like a.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
Ms. Edwards, do you see that? We can talk tomorrow. It's near the bottom under section 3B, probably just a formatting error.
I think so.
So,
Okay.
Madam President, I think you can choose to approve as amended.
As amended, yes. Okay. Thanks, Amy. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Motion to review and approve policy 9010, limits of authority, and there was just a minor change there in concert with adding the school liaison roles.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so getting to the consent agenda, anybody want to remove any items from the consent agenda?
I'd like to remove items Q through W, please.
All right, can I have a motion to remove items Q through W from the consent agenda?
Move to remove.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so in addressing now items Q through W,
Move to accept items Q through W.
Second.
any questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Okay. Going back to the consent agenda, minus items Q through W.
Move to accept.
Second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, as far as any other business permitted by law, one of the things that I did want to bring up with folks has to do with, we've got a number of things, items that I know we keep battering around going, oh, we got to get to that, or oh, we got to get to this. Three of those things that I have in my mind is the discussion of facilities and programming for the district. The next would be the district growth plan, as I know it expires, so to speak, on June 30th. And then also your goals beginning July 1st of next year, because they will expire, and these, while they seem, the latter two seem way down the road, as we start looking at the calendars and things and people's availability. So I wanted to bring that up, number one. Number two, and then as far as discuss with the board, thoughts as far as what to tackle first and when. Like, we know elections are coming up after our next board meeting. The board may look different. So potentially holding off discussion about buildings and facilities and programming to a meeting in November, so that we can start looking at our calendars and putting that together, maybe that off Monday that we have. Well, no, we can't do that. We can't do the off Monday, because we're not all sworn in yet, whoever we may be. And that's another meeting we have to schedule, is our annual meeting, either right after elections, so that,
You know, bylaws say that Wednesday or the day after people get sworn in.
right, generally, election day is the 4th, the
Swearing in
11th.
will be the 11th.
That's Veterans Day, are they still gonna do it that day? The 11th, so anywhere the 12th, 13th, or 14th, we will need to meet, whomever will need to meet. I have to be careful with my language. Whomever will need to meet in order to then hold our annual meeting and elect officers. So if folks could get back to me for 12th, 13th, and 14th availability, which works better, please let me know. So then, as far as the other meetings I was talking about, I'm not sure what folks' thoughts are about scheduling meetings to discuss those items.
As much as I'd like to get some of those items discussed, I honestly don't want to feel like tying the next board up in some of those topics. I mean, I would like to get the facilities started. I would like to really like to get this goals started. You know, that's to me the most important one, is the superintendent's goals. But I also feel guilty. I mean, I'm hoping I'm here. But I would feel bad tying up the next board with something, a decision I really cannot be here.
So my recommendation for the board's consideration is the facilities discussion is substantial. And it's almost a misnomer, in my opinion, to call it a facilities discussion, right? I believe you should be envisioning what are the educational programs that you want
Okay.
the children of New
For the next 10
Britain,
years.
to experience for the next 10 years. Then, whether we have the in-house expertise or we need outside expertise to say, do you have the buildings to make your vision come true?
Okay. That's fair. Yep.
So, and as you know, in my kind of nerdy way, I find that to be quite fun and rewarding, such discussions. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't mean to sound as though I'm dissuading you from having them, quite the opposite. But it's very, very important.
Well, and as I said, I do know if we're talking the 12th or the 14th to have the annual meeting, depending on who's here, that following week, the 17th through the 21st, I don't know if there's availability for folks if we want to schedule discussion for the educational programs. Not that we're going to solve War and Peace or anything, but just kick that off.
Well, I think, Madam President, you and I can discuss, is that a discussion that warrants an outside facilitator? Sometimes those discussions go better when a third party, such as Dave
Okay.
Irwin that we used for the board strategic goals,
Okay.
who can kind of help the board break through. Otherwise, it's very easy for those topics to, or those kinds of discussions to focus on the current rather than the future, especially if you know, you've experienced this school district for yourself. It's human nature to kind of envision the school district as you have known it versus how it could or should be for the next 10 years. And that really involves really big conversations about what types of schools we want the kids of the city to attend.
Yep. Totally agree. All right, so then you and I can,
We can brainstorm if that's a conversation that you'd like a third party to facilitate, and I'll have, if so, I'll have a name or two that I could recommend.
okay. I know too, previously, we kind of had a little retreaty kind of thing for ourselves, and possibly after the
Very
election
beneficial.
is over.
I thought it was really, really a good, we used, not Vance, what did we use last, Smalley, right? We were at Smalley and just chilling with some.
That was in my first summer here, Miss.
Yes.
That was 3 years ago.
And you brought coffee, and I was just like, wow!
And then we did one on the 4th floor here.
Yep,
Yes.
yeah, but the one where you brought coffee was much better.
I'm pretty sure I provided coffee to both.
To all of them, yeah, right, yeah, you did,
I know how things work.
yeah. Okay, any thoughts on his questions? Dr. Gasper and I can talk about the educational programming piece. As far as mapping out other sessions, we do need to, again, start looking at your goals. Yeah, I don't want to shortchange it because May will come around real quick and June before we know it. And so that'll be something that I think we'll definitely need to get tackled. And we may be talking January, but I want to get it out there so that people have that on their radar and that we can try to get some ideas of when. All right, so for the short term, if you guys could let me know availability between the 12th and the 14th so that we can, the annual meeting can be held to move on. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other business as permitted by law? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Took a while. I thought people would be jumping on that.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.